order of the Ancient of Days as the second celestial administration was designed to govern the entire Havona system from the level of super-universe downward. It is this great order that works with endless groups of seraphim and supernaphim hosts that were assigned to the service of the orders of for the fulfillment of the great cosmic divine plan. So from the top down again, we have the eternal order of the Eternal of Days, or the order of the Eternal of Days, who oversees the affairs of the central spheres known as Havona according to Urantia, or the metaverse in science, or the motherverse in the esoteric tradition. It's all different terminologies describing the same phenomena. Next, we have the order of the Ancient of Days that oversee the development of the time-space experimental worlds of evolutionary potential, all within the periphery of the seven super-universes. Then as we descend further to the 10 major sectors, we have the order... Then as we descend further to the major sectors, we have the order of the Perfection of Days, who administrate the major sectors on behalf of the order of both the Eternal and Ancient of Days. Further down, we have the Celestial Order of the Union of Days, and this order administrates the affairs of all local universes within the minor sectors. Now, within the domains of local universes, at the levels of the constellations themselves, we have the Celestial Order of the Recent of Days. And further down to the star system sovereigns, we have the Celestial Order of the Faithful of Days. So, what this tells us is that there is some sort of divine administration that stemmed from the highest regions, and through a replication of its order by applying the same universal laws and standards that the previous order applies, it allows each realm to be governed all the way from the highest vibrating spheres to the lowest of material spheres where the galactic systems exist. Further down, we have the Celestial Order of the Union of Days, and this order administrates the affairs of local universes. Okay. In further examination, we can also correlate the Urantia material with the idea of the three levels of heaven: celestial, etheric, material, and these are the three overall planes of existence that have been revealed in the esoteric tradition. And I would like to make a comparison to the information revealed in the Urantia material. So in this comparison, we could line up the Havona central spheres with the eternal celestial spheres that have always existed as the most purifiest levels of light. As we descended into the second heavens, then we match the organization or extension of the seven super-universes, corresponding to the middle heavens of the etheric realms, in which extended from the already existing spheres of light, the celestial spheres, or as Urantia puts it, the grand central universe. The creations of the local universes could be considered the lowest heavens, or the material spheres where all galaxies exist. On a galactic level, if we can further correlate these three levels of existence to the postulated three types of advanced population systems proposed by our new science, then we are on the verge of the greatest scientific and spiritual revolution ever, which only comes with the reestablishment of heaven on earth. According to the Urantia material, we live in a local universe of Nebadon, which is one of multiple evolving universes in the seventh segment of the known super-universe of Orventon. However, the Urantia material does not mention any other super-universes, other than Orventon, nor does it mention any other local universes other than Nebadon. Perhaps these other super-universes and their respective local universes have been completed and are waiting for the completion of Orventon, the seventh segment we belong to. Urantia also reveals that the central universe of Havona is expanding its periphery one space level at a time in support of the centropic model of existence, which is the idea that all existence comes from the top down or extends from something central, and from the central point it extends outward as it repeats on every level in a holographic fashion. Urantia also revealed that the celestial universe of Havona is expanding its periphery one outer space level at a time, supporting the centropic model of existence. According to Urantia, we are barely in the stage of completing the first outer space level out of 4 others that are awaiting further organization. In other words, all creations from the central universe, celestial, to the super-universe level, etheric, and down to the local universes, material, with their trillions of planets, exist within the periphery of only the first space level in circumference to the always existing spheres of Havona. This tells us that the organization of energy matter is taking place one outer space level at a time. This is the same esoteric concept regarded as the ring past naught, which is equivalent to one universal round of involution descent and evolution ascent. As revealed by Urantia, we are at the completion of the first base level and are waiting to once again begin the next round of expansion in the second outer space level from the always existing grand central universe. As far as the three outer space levels are concerned, they are waiting to be organized and inhabited by intelligences that are ascending in this universal round. As for now, those three outer space levels are unorganized with no life forms, according to the Urantia papers. However, upon the completion of Orvonton, the last of the 7 super universes, we will begin a new universal round in a new cosmic cycle that will once again begin the process of descent and ascent. This new cycle will be the beginning of the organization of the second outer space level surrounding the always existing spheres of Havana and all its sanctified worlds of evolutionary completion. The sanctified worlds of evolutionary completions are the worlds of the ascending of the ascending mortals that eventually, with their planet as a civilization, descended first from spirit into matter and then ascended from matter back into spirit through a gradual ascent, as talked about earlier, how they both become a planetary system. How it first becomes a planetary system, and then it becomes a stellar system, and then it becomes a galactic system. And then at the point of the galactic system, there are still even greater levels beyond the 12th dimension, allowing these ascending mortals to eventually reach the highest levels within the realms of the local universes, the minor sectors, the major sectors, the super universes, and where it all, I guess, completes where they could finally say graduation is granted to them is when they reach the highest levels known as the Havana systems, which is the central spheres or the celestial spheres in which everything began from. So it's almost like we begin in the celestial spheres, we involve or we are part of this descent to then again ascend all the levels that we descended, so that when we go out there to the second outer space level, then we could also begin to facilitate our own creations or administrate our own worlds and galaxies and perhaps universes. In other words, from the central universe to the super universe level, I've already read that. However, upon the completion of our Orvonton, the last of the seven super universes, we will begin a new universal round in a new cycle. Now, since we are barely in the stage of completing our first space level, then we are perhaps in the beginning phase of a process that will appear to be infinite, since there is no end to numbers. Even the